Hello, my name is Holly and I will be the trainer this hour. The topic is a reading on nomophobia. Nomophobia is the fear of losing your cell phone or your mobile phone. And it looks like it would be a fairly interesting topic, actually. So I encourage you all to consider coming if you have a subscription or if you have a ticket for the class. And so my name is Holly and I will be the trainer again. I'm from Idaho, where it is now 8 p.m. here in Idaho, which means it would be 11 p.m. in Brazil, 9 p.m. in Colombia, 8 p.m. in Japan and Korea would be 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. And see 8 p.m. in Spain would be about 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m. and then it would be about, I guess, about 5 a.m. in the Ukraine and Finland, and 4 a.m. in Hungary. And so let's see. The class today will be on nomophobia, and it was a new word for me when I first found this article, but it's about the fear of losing your cell phone. Do you ever keep checking for your cell phone so that you don't lose it? That's really what the topic is about. Hi, Soul. How are you today? Soul, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Fine.
How was your Saturday?
Hi, I sleep a lot.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so is it? It's 11 o'clock in Argentina right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So
What about in
you
the
guys.
States?
Oh, excuse me.
And what about the States? Is
In the
it
States, well, in New York it's 10, and in the Midwest it's 8. I mean 7, 9. In the mountain region where I'm at, it's 8. In California, Pacific is 7. It's 7. So, but you guys are the same time zone as Brazil, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because it's 11 for them. But Colombia is, I guess, further enough away that they're actually in the what we call the central time zone. So they're 2 hours from you and an hour from me. So
Oh, okay.
anyway, yeah, but
And what
yeah.
about your Saturday?
Well, my Saturday was I taught all last night, and then I was supposed to sleep all morning. Like I was planning to sleep from 5 until midnight, until 5 until noon, which is about 8 hours. And my nephew woke me up, so
Mm.
I got about maybe 2, 3 hours. So I'm like,
Oh,
so I'm like, not very awake today, but
and you are,
I
yeah,
am.
yeah, what are you going to
So say that again.
say? No, what was you're going to tell me? Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, it just said I think I said that, but I'll have time to sleep tomorrow. So, so
Yeah.
how has your weekend been so far?
Fine. Very
Yeah.
quiet,
Uh-huh.
but it's okay because here in Argentina we have Monday, it's holiday.
Oh, is it? What?
So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. It's a holiday here in the States too, but I think it's a different holiday. What is the holiday for you?
it's complicated to explain because we used to celebrate Columbus. It was the day I think Columbus come to America, and so we
So
used
you
to
guys
celebrate
celebrate
it
Columbus
at
Day too?
yeah, and we used to
Really?
celebrate it. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
we used
So,
to
so what
celebrate
is it
it
now?
as the because we used to celebrate it as the race day, but in
Mm-hmm.
Argentina we have changed that to like culture diversity day because, as you might know, when Spaniards came to America, it was not a good thing for the people that was original here because they were killed and
Mm-hmm.
stolen. So I don't know. We start like that's a bad thing to talk about races, and so now we kind of celebrate like this ethnic diversity day. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay. So
What
you stopped celebrating the Columbus Day because of the fact that the Spaniards actually dominated the Americas and basically took it over, which I think a lot of people would like to do that, especially for Thanksgiving. Stop giving praise to the
uh,
Pilgrims, you know,
yeah, I think it's the
for
same thing.
yeah, for what they did to the Indians. But yeah, we have Columbus Day, but for us it's not it's a holiday where the banks and the government offices are closed, but the schools are still open, the shops are still open. My nephew goes to speech therapy on Monday, so he still goes to speech therapy. You know, so everything is still a normal day, except we can't get no banking and no what do you call it, no access to the post office. So you know,
Okay.
and government type of stuff. So, but in Japan, it's also a holiday, and I just looked on my Google Calendar, and it's called Sports Day. So
Oh.
I'm not sure what that is actually. I wonder. Hopefully, Ake comes and I can ask what it is. Um,
So different from here, I think.
yeah. So it's not the same.
Yeah. Do you have many holidays in the States?
Yeah, we do, but we don't. We have specific holidays that everyone takes off of work, and then specific holidays that are kind of the we call the Hallmark holidays.
Hallmark. Okay.
Yeah, you know the Hallmark company, the card company.
Ah, yeah.
Um, but like Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday. Um, and then of course no one we have the two holidays that people don't get off work for is Halloween and Easter. People don't get off work for those days, even though they're official holidays. Um, but then of
Okay,
course we have Christmas, Thanksgiving, so forth.
but they are not like national holidays. I mean, like here, for example, 9th, July 9th, we
Uh-huh.
celebrate independence as you do in the
July
July
4th.
4th, I
Uh-huh.
think, and
Mhm.
nobody goes to work, and then we have some national holidays like San Martin, that was a guy that liberated many countries in Latin America, but he was an Argentinian, and so
Mhm.
we have like this commemorative day
Mhm.
that's in August,
Yeah.
um, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So we have many holidays, national holidays.
Yeah, well, we have some. Well, they're called basically bank holidays, but we have like there are holidays like Easter and Halloween that are actually celebrated, but they're not. No, nothing's closed. And then we have the holidays where, like Columbus Day, where things close down, the banks and the post offices and the government, but nobody celebrates it. So Columbus Day is one. We've got President's Day in January. No, President's Day in February, We have Martin Luther King Day in January. Not Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Um, and not it's not a nationwide. There's no traditions to celebrate. We've got Labor Day and Memorial Day, where there's some traditions, but it's not as important as other holidays. So I think it's the same in your country as well. So it's
Yeah.
actually kind of interesting to go through. I've done that with classes really successfully, where we've taken a calendar and we've actually gone through and it's been with and basically talked about, okay, it's a holiday on that day. What do you do? What are the traditions? So I tried that here in Verbling, but I think people weren't ready for how free it was, and they wanted more structure or something like that. And I was just like, okay, it's January. What holidays do you have? And I don't think people were ready for that. So, but yeah. So, do you guys celebrate Halloween or thanks? You don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but do you guys celebrate Halloween?
No, as you do, I think,
Uh-huh.
and because maybe in other Latin American countries they do,
Uh-huh.
but uh, during the last years it started becoming a more common thing. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe at school they get dressed, children get dressed and that stuff,
Uh-huh.
but we don't go for that candy or trick thing. We don't do that.
Okay, so you don't do the trick or
No,
treats or
no,
anything like that. Yeah.
no.
Okay. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's for me it's a holiday I don't like. I mean it's fun for the kids, but to me it's compared to so many holidays it's so small. And but I'm learning that there are many holidays that Halloween is celebrated outside of the U.S. By a lot of people, and I'm like, really? Why? So, but
And that is how that Halloween have to do with something in particular,
well,
something
it's basically
or something.
it's part of All Saints Day. Do you guys have All Saints Day?
No, in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, there's some countries that have All Saints Day, and Halloween was actually called All Hallows Eve. And in the U.S., apparently, I'm not sure exactly when, just started this tradition of kids going from house to house and asking for candy. It's interesting in Finland, where I lived for many years, they have a similar tradition where kids dress up like witches right before
Yeah.
Easter. So right before Easter, they go around and ask for candy or money from their neighbors. So I was always careful not to answer my door on that day. So because I'd always forget what it was and forget what day it was, and then I would see these kids running around in these costumes, and I would ask, "What is this?" So, but it was like the Sunday before Easter. They have that tradition. So, and nobody really explained to me why they did it. So, anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So the topic today is nomophobia. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, in that way, but I think of I don't know if I ever tell you. I work in advertising.
You
I
work in
work
what?
in an advertising agency.
Placement agency. Uh-huh.
Advertising. Like,
Advertising. No, I'm
yeah.
sorry. You never did tell me. Uh-uh.
And I have been doing some research for a brand I work for, and I found like this insight about that is called FOMO, that is the letters of fear of missing out. And I don't know why, but I think it has to do with nomophobia or something.
Agoraphobia. Okay, so you've learned about agoraphobia?
No, no. That I think that this thing of fear, the fear of missing out that many people have
Oh,
because
fear of
of
missing
this,
out.
yeah, has to do with this nomophobia, I think.
Yeah.
That,
Phobia means fear of. And actually, apparently, nomo comes from
ew.
slang. It comes from slang in the UK, and it's something we'll read it in the article. But it's actually the fear of losing your cell phone.
Ah, okay, no, so that it doesn't have to do with fear of missing out. Okay.
Uh-uh. But it's fear of losing the cell phone. And um, I mean, some people, I lose my cell phone all the time, and I'm kind of happy about it because then nobody can find me. So,
Okay.
because I can make phone calls on Skype if I'm on the internet. So, if I don't have my cell phone, I'm not worried at all. So how about you? How are you?
Okay.
How about you? Do you like to have your cell phone on all the time, or?
I don't have a problem with that.
Mhm.
And of course, sometimes left it, when I leave it in my house and go to work and I don't have it, it's kind of weird because I'm kind of
Mhm.
used to use it every
Everywhere.
along the day.
Uh huh.
So, but I'm not like, I don't get crazy or mad because I don't have my phone at hand, you know.
Mhm.
But it's a strange feeling that I feel if I don't have my phone near
Uh huh.
because uh, I I'm always with it. I always connected, and so maybe I'm losing from something important like a friend message,
Mhm.
friend's message, or family message. But I don't get mad about that. You
Mhm.
know, it's like okay, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have a real problem
Uh
with
huh.
that.
So you're not worried about it at all. So
No.
yeah, and that's. I think when I first got my cell phone, I liked to have it, and I got used to having it. And when the first time I lost it, of course you miss it.
Yeah.
But lately, I've been really liking it. In fact, my sister, she broke her cell phone, and then I loaned her my business phone that I don't use, and she lost it. And then she was like, she even told her husband, "We shouldn't even get us another phone for me." So she just liked not having the phone. So, um, so what kind of cell phone do you have?
I have a smartphone.
Okay, do you know what kind? Whether it's a Nokia or Android or
No,
Samsung?
an LG with Android.
LG, okay, an Android LG, okay. And I have a Nokia smartphone, and with a Windows operating system. And um, and I think if I had an Android or an iPhone, I would probably use it a lot more because there's better games. So,
But you use WhatsApp with this Nokia?
can I use what?
WhatsApp?
Web chat? Yeah, there are some things you can do. You can't use like the King.com games, like the ones I'm addicted to. Candy Crush Saga, I can't play on it, but
Okay.
I can do. I'm a real big person. I have Skype, and so I can
Oh,
get Skype on that, which is really quite good. So. Um, Yeah, bear with me a moment. I'm going to turn on my air conditioner real quick. It's really hot in here. So, So, yeah. So, do you use what do you use your smartphone for?
Mainly to communicate
Mm-hmm.
to my friends and family and some coworkers,
Uh-huh.
and to check uh, Facebook, sometimes Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I use WhatsApp
Uh-huh.
and text.
Oh, okay. Do you so do you prefer to text or call? If you're
It depends. It depends on the situation.
uh-huh.
Sometimes the call is better, especially if you have to go deep into a matter.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So if you have to explain something, I think talking is better.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But texts are quicker, quicker,
Quicker.
faster.
Yeah, faster for some people, yeah. I just like my mom, she prefers text, and even for private, serious conversations, she'll send me a message. And then I'll of course call her and say, "Mom, let's get together, let's talk." So, because she doesn't like to talk on the phone, but she loves to text. And I hate texting. So my friends who text, they always get a phone call from me, and they don't like talking on the phone. So okay, let's.
Yeah, the same thing happens with my sister. Um, she
Does
hates
she?
talking to the cell phone.
Oh, really? So she prefers
Yeah,
text?
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Um, okay, well, this is kind of one of those tests where you count up your points and and then and then see where you are, and then I guess the reading we will do will explain a little bit about it. So,
Okay.
first of all, how do you feel when you lose signal? A, worried, B, a bit worried, C, not worried, or D, happy?
I think it's between A and B because the thing is, if I lose signal, if when I have to communicate because of an important matter,
Uh-huh.
I, I don't feel happy. I feel worried. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe you get 3.5 points for that because it's three
yeah,
points before. And for me, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm at home or if I'm close to home and in the local area, and if I lose signal, I don't care. But if I'm traveling outside of my local area and I lose signal, I get a bit worried. Because what if something happens and I can't make any phone calls?
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So how often do you run out of battery?
Every day,
Me too.
I think.
Every day or every week. So many times I catch it before it completely runs out, but there are times where I run out of battery and I don't even plug it in. I say, oh, okay, well I just won't use it for a while. So how about you? I mean, do you
I run out of battery almost every day, so I
mhm.
have to switch it in my desk computer at work.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes I charge it here at home. But
Hmm. So it sounds like you need a new battery if your battery is going to need charging that often.
yeah, but the thing is, I use it battery a lot. The battery, uh, I ran out of battery because I use the cell phone also to listen the radio, and I always put the Wi-Fi mode. So
Uh-huh.
it, using the radio and using the Wi-Fi mode,
Uh-huh.
you it makes your phone go runs out of battery, because it uses a lot of battery.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that because the more applications you use and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
and I guess that's the same on this on the laptop. If you use more applications and things, and you don't have your laptop plugged in, it won't. It will run out of battery much quicker. So, okay. Next one. How often do you lose sight of your phone? For me, it's all the time.
really.
Yeah, I never
No,
know
I
where my
think
phone is.
I think sometimes I don't know where it is, and so if I'm at home, I call myself
Uh-huh.
and to find it,
Mhm.
or if I'm with a friend, I make him or her call me.
Mhm.
So
And but if the battery's out, it's harder to find.
totally.
So yeah, and for me, uh, usually I know where it is, but when I first started using cell phones, I always had it with me. I was always checking. Now I rarely use it. I mean, I try not to. Except I do use it when for surfing, but not for actually making phone calls. So, next one. Do you bring your phone to the beach when you are on vacation?
Yeah, I don't go to the beach a lot, so I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I think sometimes I carry it and sometimes I don't.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and for me again, it depends on where I am. If I'm in a situation where I feel comfortable, I'll probably leave it in the phone in the hotel room or in the car. But if it's somewhere where I feel like I need to maybe make emergency calls, then I'll keep it with me. So, um, but if I like, for example, if I'd like to rent a cabin on the Oregon coast one day, and if I did that, then I'd probably just leave my cell phone in the cabin. So, um, number 5, do you check your emails or texts when you are at a restaurant with a friend?
yes, always.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too. It's funny because I'll check Facebook and it's funny because I can't with my Nokia I can't check in, but I used to do check-ins all the time when I had an iPhone. Um,
through
but I
Foursquare or through Facebook.
on Facebook,
Okay.
and then I used to use Foursquare as well, but I don't think I can get Foursquare on my Windows phone. So, um, next one, what kind of information do you store on your phone?
Uh, I might say photos and contact details, but I also use it sometimes to do notes in the note application.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use that for my iPad. That's probably why I'm not into the phone because I have an iPad which is bigger. And so I use more things on that than I do on the phone. But at one time I was really into my phone and now I'm not. So, did you keep score? I didn't. So,
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So, wait a minute.
okay. See, I'll count it up. 2,
16.
5, and then Okay, I'm 11.5. So you're 16. So the phone is quite important to you, and for me, no, you're 16. It's important, and for me, it's quite important. But it's above this one, not very important. So okay. So we're going to do a reading about a study on cell phone users in the UK, and then we'll complete the statistics below, and then we can talk about what we think, whether these trends in the UK are similar or different than our own countries. So, okay.
Okay.
A new study of cell phone use in the UK has found that more than half of the population are afraid of being without their cell phones. Okay, if you can read the odd numbers, and I'll read the even numbers. So first of all, what do I mean by odd numbers? Do you know that?
It's 1, 3, 5.
Perfect. And then even, and then it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, could you start out?
Okay. Yeah. According to a new study, more than half of the UK population suffer from nomophobia, the fear of being without their cell phone. This could include losing signal, running out of battery, or losing sight of your phone.
Okay, nomophobia is an abbreviation of no mobile phone phobia. The word was first invented in the UK after a study that examined anxieties related to mobile use. Number 3.
According to the most recent study, 42% of people bring their phones to the beach with them on vacation, and 20% use them to check their email in bed.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
A quarter of the people in the study checked texts and emails while they were at dinner or on a date. Women did this 10% more than men. I could do it when I'm with my family, but if I were on a date, I'm not sure I would.
No, that would be weird for both parts.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, next one. Um,
The study also showed that people do not take care about the security of their cell phone. This was surprising because our smartphones usually have as much private and sensitive information as our laptops and computers.
it's very clear that we totally rely on our phones when we are at home and also when we are at work, said Fred Touche, senior security analyst at AppRiver. We store so much information on our phone, confidential office documents, contact details, emails, photos, and bank logins. If someone steals the device, they can easily access that information. Okay, number
This
7.
suggests, this suggests that people are afraid of losing their smartphones for a logical reason, not only because of their need for communication. It is like losing your keys.
Yeah. See, and I don't know if maybe I can check my bank from my phone. I haven't considered it. So, um,
Yeah, in Argentina, the people don't use it to do bank stuff
uh-huh.
and to do e-commerce because I think there is like a barrier about uh, that people feel because people feel that entering your information about yourself, your data, your private
Uh-huh.
data can be stolen and they're not secure, and so they don't use it for e-commerce and bank. So
Yeah, which totally
most
makes
people,
sense because they explained in the article about nomophobia, and they said that it's not that they're scared of losing the chance to communicate. They're scared of being able to um, lose their security. the passwords and stuff like that. So, so, um, yeah, I think some people use it for like everything, and some people just don't. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. So let's just look at these questions. What exactly is nomophobia? If you were explaining that to somebody, how would you explain it?
The fear of uh, not having your phone at hand, I think.
Okay, yeah. So it's the fear of not having your phone with you. Do you know
Yeah,
people that might have nomophobia?
yeah, totally.
Do you?
I have a friend that's always with her phone at hand with her,
Uh-huh.
and it's like an extension of her body, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
And does I mean, uh, and is the reason that she is so, is it because of communication or is it because of social media, social networking,
I think
or,
social media.
being able to communicate so quickly and stuff like that on Facebook or whatever? Um, I came up with, are you familiar with the author C.S. Lewis?
No, what's that? Arthur?
Yeah, it's an English author. He's from England. His name is C.S. Lewis, and
Can
there was,
you write it
yeah,
in the
yeah.
chat?
And he was I think he died probably in the 50s or 60s, um, maybe 70s. But he wrote many books. He was out of, I think, Oxford or Cambridge in the UK. And I was watching a movie about his life, and somebody said to him, "We read to know we are not alone." And
Okay.
that's it was from the movie about his life, and I thought about that is, and I think that we use social media and social media and social networking, um, to know that we are not alone. What do you think? That's kind of my own personal theory from C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, yeah. If this guy Lewis, I don't know how to say it properly,
C.S.
but
Lewis, yeah.
Lewis,
Uh-huh.
an anthropologist. He was an anthropologist, wasn't he? I
Um,
think.
I know him from the books that he wrote. He was an author.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, but it makes sense. Your that
you know,
you change it from books to social networking because
yeah.
it has to do, I think, with that we are that keeping in touch with other people through social media make us feel that we are not alone. Despite of the fact that we are not near them, it's
Mhm.
kind of we are near them. So yeah,
Yeah. Like your friend who's always having to post on Facebook or whatever. That it might be what's going on. Is she's reaching out to people, and maybe she feels lonely. I don't know. That's just because once we got social media, I didn't feel as isolated or alone when I was in the U.S. and when I was in Finland. Where before that, there were times that I felt very alone. So, okay, next one. We've already talked about this one. People don't care about the security of their cell phones. Why is this surprising? We talked about it briefly, but that some people do care about it, and so that's why they don't use it for banking and stuff. Um,
yeah.
but then some people do. So, okay. Number 3, what can happen if someone steals your cell phone?
Oh, I think it's interesting because I don't care about the phone itself, like the device itself,
Uh-huh.
but I have a lot of like my personal information, like my login in Facebook and my email account and my photos and videos and that kind of stuff. I
Uh-huh.
feel like pretty scared, I think,
Uh-huh.
because they are not filling only my cell phone that I can go and buy a new one. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, like, I have a lot of things there in there that are really personal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I it was in 2000, I guess it would have been 2012. I went shopping and I put my groceries in the trunk of my car and drove home. And when I got out of my car, I took my groceries in, and then my purse wasn't there. I was like, "Where's my purse? Where's my purse?" I looked all over. I went back to the store. I went to all the stores in the area. Did my purse get turned in? And I had an iPhone in it, and I had some videos that I had not emailed to myself and I'd not put in the cloud of my nephews right before they turned 1 years old, and I was devastated because of the what I had lost. And I never got it back. But I think I must have left it on top of my car because the none of the credit cards were ever tried. They never tried to use any of the credit cards. Nothing. So I think it just kind of the entire thing got smashed. But but have you ever lost your phone or your cell phone or your purse or wallet or anything like that?
Sorry, can you tell me again, ask me again? I couldn't.
Understand? Okay, that's why you're here, is to practice listening. Um, I in 2012, when
Yeah.
I went grocery
Yeah,
shopping.
yeah, that's
You
why I
Okay? You understood that
understand.
part.
I couldn't understand.
The question:
Yeah.
Have you
Not
ever
the last
lost?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever lost a purse or a cell phone or anything like that?
I can't remember. Not a cell phone, but something similar happened to me. I used to have a BlackBerry,
Uh huh.
and battery wasn't working well, and one day it was dead.
Uh huh.
And so I have many stuff in there
Uh huh.
that were in the cell phone memory and not in the external memory. So
Hmm.
I kind of lose everything I have in my phone, but it wasn't stolen. The thing was that it was dead. It died,
Uh huh.
and so, but no, I haven't lost a purse. I think.
Okay. So have you ever
I
lost?
think.
So basically, you lost the data from your phone. Have you
Yeah,
ever lost the data from your computer?
yeah. No, because I have a external disk,
Yeah.
and I'm not saving everything every single day there, but
Mhm.
sometimes I remember to do a backup.
Uh huh.
Uh, so I
Yeah.
try to cover myself from that because it would be really bad, I think.
Yeah. And
Especially because I have some work files and
huh.
so.
Yeah. I I got an external hard drive, and I did not know that I should not carry it around in my bag,
Oh,
and I ended up losing everything on it.
I know.
My brother-in-law tried to fix it, and he couldn't fix it. And I think in the process of him trying to fix it, he erased everything. So I lost everything. So
Oh no.
years and years of work. But it was my fault. So I was like, oh. But anyway, let's go on. Do you think people in your country suffer from nomophobia? We've kind of talked about that. You have a friend that has it. Do you think it's based on personality or based on the culture?
I think more and more people are getting this are suffering more of this nomophobia thing
Mhm. Okay.
because now we are quite dependent of our cell phones and we put a lot of information in there, and so it's kind of an extension of our bodies, and
Mhm.
so it's yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, now the next section of this is a little bit of grammar, but it's a type of grammar that um, actually sets yourself apart from a non-native speaker and someone who is more fluent. And so because if you make mistakes in preposition, then people think, okay, she's still learning. She or he's still learning. Um, so we've got at, on, and in. So can you quickly add put the correct words in the correct places?
At home,
Mm-hmm.
at work,
Yes.
and at dinner, I think.
At dinner, yes. Work and at dinner. Perfect. And then at the top, bottom, at a meeting, at the end. Okay, next one.
On bed, or I don't know.
On what?
The phone,
Okay. On the phone. Okay.
on vacation, and on a date.
Yes. Okay. And in.
In bed.
In bed, yes. Or in a newspaper, in a book, in a hospital, in prison, in the middle. Okay. All right. So we're going to complete each sentence with at, in, or on, plus one of the following words from the article, and then we'll discuss these. For example, I found an interesting website while I was on the internet. Okay. So question for you. We'll just check. Well, if we can have something to ask at each sentence, we'll do that. Sol, what is one of your favorite websites that you have found on the internet?
I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite website. I I go switching between one and another. Maybe I kind of engage with some for
Mm-hmm.
a while, and then I find a different one that is more interesting or more new. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but I don't have a favorite website yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. No, let's do number two. I never check my emails while I am blank. I prefer to go to sleep.
In bed, I think.
Okay. How about you? Do you check your emails while you are in bed?
Not my emails. Maybe I do a quick check
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
or on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah.
emails.
Oh, I think WhatsApp is much more popular outside of the U.S. because I've heard about it a lot since I started with Verbling than I've ever heard about it before.
Really?
Yeah. And I signed up with it, but I, I don't really know how to use it. So number 3, I read about the political situation.
In the newspaper.
Yes, in the newspaper. Okay. Number 4. Oh, first of all, do you ever read the newspaper anymore?
No, I don't read it on paper. I read it in the internet, the
Uh-huh.
online newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same that you can buy on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but
Do
yeah.
you use the website that the newspaper uses, or do you go to a different site?
No, no, I go to the newspaper's own website.
Online site, yeah. Okay. And I go to uh, one of the TV stations, their websites, and I'd rather read it. And then I also go to Yahoo, because Yahoo has so many different. They get AP, they get all the different news sites that they just come to theirs. So a few months ago, I heard that the president had declared war, and I didn't believe it, so I went straight to Yahoo, and nothing was said on it. But it was all over
Well,
Facebook. President Obama has declared war, and it's like, no, he hasn't. So, number 4.
maybe it was an update.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think some websites are not so update.
hmm and sometimes you have to look at the source. You have to, in English, we say, you have to consider the source. So if you I've had people question me about words in their industry, and is that really used that way? And I'll say, yeah, it is. And I said, do you know how you check that? Is by Googling the word, and if it comes out with a like for you, if the American Advertising Association is using the word, a specific word, then you know that it's used this way in your field. And that's what I've worked with, like electrical engineers and people like that. And they're like, "Are you sure, Holly?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And check it. You have to consider the source. So if you go on the internet and you find that it's a legitimate news source using the language that same way, then it's correct. So does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I used to tell that to engineers all the time. So number 4, I store a lot of important information, so I take it with me everywhere.
I think it's on my laptop,
On my
in my
laptop.
or in my laptop. I'm not so sure.
Okay, just a second. One moment. I'm hearing something that's concerning me. One moment. I apologize about that. I heard a 2-year-old girl crying next to my door where my dog was barking, and so I'm like, oh no, he didn't do anything, did he? So, so on my laptop. Okay. So, and it also could be, yeah, or on the phone too, but on my laptop I think is correct. Um, do you take your laptop everywhere with you, or do you have a tablet or something you take with you?
No, not my laptop.
Yeah, I used to take my laptop everywhere with me, but I don't anymore. So
And do you take your iPad everywhere with you?
not anymore either. My iPad, I like right now, it's been out of battery for 2 weeks, so I haven't even used it. Um, but back when I was teaching in Finland from about 2000. I think it was about 2006 onwards, I would actually take my laptop to I taught in companies all over the city, and so I would take my laptop to the classes, and I would teach the classes, and if I could I open the laptop, and I would make notes, and then I would send before I left the company, I would usually send all of the students feedback on the lesson and stuff like that, so they could have immediate feedback. And before that, I would always just use paper, and then I would give it to them, and they would make photocopies. But then I started using that, and if we would also attach my laptop to their data projector, and then I'd go online, and if we had a question about something that I didn't know, we would Google it. and stuff like that. So so I started taking my laptop everywhere because of that. And but now I only teach online. So at that time I was teaching everywhere. So okay, let's go next one. Joe is not right now. His office is closed.
At work?
At work, yes. Joe is not at work. And you are not at work right now, but I am at work right now. Number 6, I always stay in cheap hotels.
When I'm on vacation?
Vacation. Or in British English, that would of course be when I am on holiday. How about you? When you were on vacation, do you stay in cheap hotels or in expensive hotels?
During my last vacation, I went to Europe and I stayed in hostels, so I prefer cheap hotels. I prefer to spend money in other stuff, like clothes and, I don't know, tickets to
Yeah.
a cultural event or
Mm-hmm.
food
Okay.
or drinks, but not that, I don't know. Yes, during this week, I've been from Sunday to Wednesday in Panama, and
You mentioned that.
yeah, and I've been in two really expensive hotels,
Uh-huh.
but I don't like it. I think it's like, I don't know, I don't like it.
Yeah, and I like to stay in really nice hotels, but it depends. Like if I'm going on, for example, on a road trip,
Yeah.
and we're driving much of the day and stopping and sightseeing on the way, and then we get to the hotel at 10 o'clock, and we plan on leaving the next day at 8 in the morning. A cheap hotel is perfect. But if I'm going to be there for several days, and I want to have a nice hotel with all the amenities I can get, free breakfast, and I spelled that wrong. I knew I did. No, that's not it. Jeez. Free breakfast, a swimming pool, hot tub, gym. So, that's how I am. I like to travel well. So,
Okay.
so number 7, Paul is waiting.
Yeah. Just waiting at the bottom.
Yes. And there's really nothing we can actually say about that. So, number 8, I don't like talking blank when I'm blank. I prefer to eat in silence.
I don't like talking on the phone when I'm at lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yes. when I'm at lunch. I was very surprised. It was a cultural difference. When I was in Korea, a student took me out to noodles. And I was just doing the American thing of just talking while you're eating. And she patted me on the side of my arm, and she said, "Holly, eat, eat, talk later." So I learned that in Korea, the first when you get the meal, when you get your food, no one speaks. Everybody just eats. And they talk before the food and after the food, but not while you're eating.
Okay.
What's it
Now
like in
in Argentina we eat and speak at the same time.
hmm Okay, that's the same as the
Because
US.
yeah, so
Yeah, but I was very surprised. I was like, "Really? Okay." you know. And I just did it. Uh-oh. Looks like class is over. We even went
yeah.
2 minutes over. So, okay. Um, well, I hope that you learned something and got plenty of practice. There were 4 other people who had signed up for this class and they didn't come, so so you got a private lesson. So
I have a problem with it.
yeah, yeah. All
Well,
right.
thank you, Colby. Have a
Thank you.
nice weekend, and maybe I can join another class.
Okay, thank you. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.